welcome to episode 3 of Sens Stonks. I am your host, Noah Luden, and a lot of hockey has happened since we last recorded. Two or 3 weeks or so of hockey. We're going to be recapping it all right now, but before we get started, please make sure to follow Sens Talk on Twitter, at @SensTalk_, quality Ottawa Senators content every single day. So I'm sure Brandon, and of course I, will appreciate if you guys follow Sens Talk on Twitter. A couple of things as well before we get started. Use your code SensTalk to save $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek.com for great deals on tickets. Guys, slowly but surely, we're getting back to normal slowly. Unfortunately, not as fast as we would want, but slowly. So ticket sales, events are going to be coming back soon. So hopefully, save Sens Talk on your first purchase for $20 off. As well, be sure to grab your latest Faces magazine issue today, the premier culture magazine in Ottawa. Magazines are offered for free in grocery stores and select locations across Ottawa. This month's feature from Faces magazine covers an interview with Sens legend number 4, the Big Rig Chris Phillips, on his new role in the Senators Community Foundation. The issue also features the likes of Drake Batherson and Sportsnet's Chabot. Make sure to get your issue today. Also, be sure to follow Faces on all of their socials for great content, crazy contests, and more on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Faces Ottawa. And now with that being said, let's get going with Matt Murray. Welcome back. That's honestly a plot twist. I did not have high hopes, honestly. If I'll be completely honest, I did not have high hopes for Matt Murray returning from injury. He had shown that he wasn't really that consistent this year. A couple good games, but a lot of bad games, and a couple of good games. But now, Matt Murray, this is the goalie the Sens were treating for. He missed hockey again, a month due to injuries. Murray has come back, and he's played 3 consecutive games for the Ottawa Senators, and he has a .942 save percentage and a 2-1 record rather. So he's been really good, and he also got a shutout. It's the first Sens shutout since, a year and a half ago, I think. So great stuff there from the Ottawa Senators netminder, and this is what we want. Maybe it's the defense has gotten better. Maybe he was playing injured. It makes me think that his last few games were him playing injured throughout the season because, they weren't confident in Hogberg and there was no real options, and Decord had just gotten injured as well for the rest of the season. So, maybe now with Forsberg, who we're going to talk about again because he's just always impressing me, and now Murray, they can have a solid 1A, 1B situation where you don't have to overwork Murray, and you can also rely on him to have a good season. So hopefully, some stability. Let's relax. Hopefully, the Sens can just have stable goaltending from now on. But good stuff from Matt Murray. His Stonks are back on the rise. Anton Forsberg, also Stonks are on the rise. He might be Murray's backup for the rest of the year. Hopefully he is. I don't know what the Sens are doing with Hogberg. He played 1 game. Hogberg did. Let's just briefly talk about him. Hogberg played 1 game. He lost it. He played okay, and he's really been missing ever since. So that game was about 2 weeks ago. So who knows? Who knows with Hogberg? He seems to be the odd man out, though, and he'll probably be gone by the end of the year, or at least in free agency. But a dream come true for Sens fans, basically. Some stable goaltending. We did not think that was going to be the case, but Forsberg's been a good surprise here. He has a 2-3-1 record in 6 starts, a .910 save percentage. That's about what you want for a backup goalie, especially on the Ottawa Senators, the 4th worst team in the league right now. Let's hope we can just relax a little bit. But good stuff from Forsberg, good stuff from Murray. Let's keep it going. Now, this episode, we're basically going to be talking a lot about the defensemen. We're going to touch up on some forwards too, but the defensemen, because it's really different. Mike Riley got traded to Boston. Braden Coburn got traded to the Islanders. Eric Branson went to Florida, and the Sens picked up on waivers Victor Mete, and they brought up and are now using Eric Brandstrom, and as well they have Jacob Bernard Docker, who just signed his entry-level contract. But firstly, we're going to talk about the guy who's been here through all of it, basically, Thomas Chabot. We need to talk. He's not declining. It's very, very stagnant, though. He's had an interesting season, 28 points in 43 games. That's pretty good. Really good for, a defenseman, the top defenseman on like the 4th worst team in the league. That's not bad, but I think he's playing too much. He's averaging 27 minutes of ice time in April, so he's still just playing a little bit too much. And the defense has looked a lot better from other guys this year, so I just don't understand the consistent reliance on Chabot. But I will say in the last 3 games, which I might refer later in the videos to the Murray games, because it was just the last 3 games that Matt Murray started, he's played about 25.5 to 26 minutes. That's a little bit more in the range. I would like to see him play about 25 for the rest of the year, maybe a bit less even, just because you don't want to overwork your top guy too much, right? So not too bad from Chabot, but he needs to just pick up his defensive play. Before those Murray games, he was getting exposed on defense a little bit. I think it's just because he couldn't really get bailed out that much by the goaltender, and just other defensemen weren't really playing that well. But now he's played a little bit better defensively, and he's had a decent offensive season. Just let's try to improve a little bit, show that big 8x8 caliber. He signed him to that contract. He was one of the favorites to be the captain. It might look to be Brady Tkachuk now, but hopefully we can see a little bit more from Thomas Chabot. Josh Brown, I've actually never talked about Josh Brown in a video. His stonks are rising though, because in the first edition he had only played like 6 or 7 games, and then the next edition I only talked about a couple defensemen. But now Josh Brown, we can talk about him. He started pretty rocky, not what you want from a guy like Josh Brown. He's signed as a third pairing guy, but he was just not playing well. But now, pretty good in his last 4 to 5 games. He had a couple fights, sound defensively. It's what you want from that third pairing defenseman. He's really hyped up the team, and especially when the Sens against the Winnipeg Jets, I want to say, were down 2-0, and then he got in a fight, and then they they scored the last 4 goals, won the game. So that's something you want to see from Josh Brown. Let's just keep it going. Not crazy expectations. I don't want it to be a crazy goal scorer or be the best points defenseman ever, but just stable defensive play. That's what it's like the theme. We just want stable play. We don't want the best stuff ever. Just a little stability, Should fix my collar as well. Stabilize that. Josh Brown, so far not too bad in his most recent stint with the team. And now Brannstrom. Finally, Eric Brannstrom on the roster for real this time. He's been really, really good so far in his last 6 games. 3 points as well, and sound defensively, just like what we need from most of these guys on the team. But now that he's playing on a consistent basis, I'm very excited to see him. I want to see a little bit more ice time. Guys like him, guys like the next guy we're going to talk about as well, and even Jacob Bernard-Docker, who I didn't really touch on too much. Brannstrom and Mete and Eric and Jacob Bernard-Docker. I want to see a little bit more of ice time. Like, that's the thing. You don't need to play Chabot for 27 minutes a game, Like, put Chabot for 24, 25-ish, and then you could play Brannstrom a little bit more. You can play these other guys and see what they got. Let's see what they got at the NHL level here. We have nothing to lose this season, right? So, with Brannstrom, pretty damn good. Stocks are going back up. Mete, so far so good. There hasn't been much of a serving size, but, so far, Victor Mete, nothing to complain about. Hasn't had a point in his 4 games. He hasn't hit 15 minutes yet, which is, again, concerning. I would like to see Victor Mete hit that 15-minute mark a couple times this year, get some valuable minutes. But he hasn't been bad defensively either. He has a cool number. That's notable, 98. That's nice. Mikhail Sergachev is the only player I can really think of who has that number. Does he even? I don't know. But give Mete some time. He'll eventually get that ice time, I think. But, again, end of the season. Season's winding down. There's like 13 games left. Let's see what Mete can do. But so far, pretty good. The stocks are slowly rising on him. Jacob Bernard-Docker, I'm not going to say anything about the stocks. He's played 1 game in the NHL. It was a good game. Don't get me wrong. He played above 15 minutes. He was really good. But 1 game. I can't really say much. He's been benched. Not benched, I guess scratched is the nicer way of saying it. The past 2 games. Gets to see the game from a spectator's point of view, an NHL game. But hopefully next game, I think they play in 2 days from now on the 22nd. I want to see Jacob Bernard-Docker back on the defensive core, maybe taking out a Brannstrom or a Josh Brown, whichever, or even a Nikita Zaitsev, the way he's been playing. But we've already talked about Nikita Zaitsev just still going down. All right, forwards. Connor Brown. I don't understand this guy, man. 8 straight games he scored a goal. He set a franchise record for scoring a goal in 8 straight games. That's crazy. Connor Brown, who would have thought? Just like a little, here he goes in the Nikita Zaitsev for Cody Ceci trade, and he's been phenomenal. He's the best player of the deal, for sure. But he has 12 points in his last 12 games. We can say that Connor Brown has been exceptional recently. Finally, the pucks are going in the net. We don't have to talk about Brown not capitalizing on his opportunities, because he finally is. There was a shot, like the one time that I realized that, like, oh my god, he is actually like on a hot streak. He took a shot on Hellebuck off his glove, up and in. Like, that's when you know when you're going. And you thought that after that 8-game streak where he lost it, he had no goals in 2 games. It's okay, he makes up for it. Last game against Calgary, 2 goals, bang, there we go. Connor Brown has just been great. Hopefully he can keep on going. Obviously there's gonna be a decline, right? But let's see what happens as the season winds down. Maybe Connor Brown can be that really good middle 6 forward, or even a top 6 forward for all we know. But let's see. But great stuff from Connor Brown. Obviously Stonks through the roof for him. Good stuff there. Formenton, I mean, man, he's fast. He's a fast guy. Stonks are up on him as well. 3 goals so far in his stint. He has yet to record an assist in his career, which is pretty funny. He's 4 goals, 0 assists total in his career. But obviously his speed is what everyone talks about. It's no joke. He flies down the ice. He's drawn penalties on breakaways. Formenton busts through, breakaway, penalty, or Formenton busts through, breakaway, scores. That's what you want to see from a guy like Formenton. Again, like most of these younger players, he's going to get more ice time eventually. He's still young. He only has 4 NHL points. Let's relax a little bit. But so far, a small serving size has been really good so far. Hopefully he can continue his trajectory. So far, Stonks are going up on him. Josh Norris, oh man, he's been like quietly really, really good. I don't know about quietly, but at least in my eyes, I hadn't really realized that, oh my god, Josh Norris has 8 points in his last 5 games. He has 10 in his last 8. He's been really, really good. He's playing consistently. He's playing 16, 17, 18 minutes a game. This is really good play from Josh Norris. Now you kind of wonder, can Josh Norris be the number 1 center of the Ottawa Senators in the future? Because right now he's playing pretty dang well. But man, you love to see it for Josh Norris. Again, 8 points in his last 5 games. It's a 5-game point streak. Stuff you love to see. That would be it. Josh Norris, Stonks rising. Colin White, I really want to be nice to Colin White. You know, I always have hopes for him. But again, man, it's so frustrating. His Stonks are going down because he has no points in his last 9 games. What's going on, Colin? Like, we need more from him, I think, because it was last time he was on the show. Like, last time I talked about him, I don't know if it's episode 2, episode 1. I was saying, you know, he's rebounded from his last year where he was horrendous. And I say that, and I cursed him, and down he goes again. Like, I don't understand. But Colin White, no points in his last 9. He hasn't been atrocious, really, but, you know, he needs to show that his contract is worth. And this is not a game where this is not the season that you want. You want a good season right now. He's kind of like, I guess he's kind of like that. Not down, not up, obviously, but like just a little less than mid. He can definitely recover though. There's like 13 or 14 games left in the year. He can recover. But man, I need some production out of Colin White. Shane Pinto, kind of like Jacob Bernard-Docker, only 2 games so far, but he's actually made an impression. He has a point. He's been really good in the face-off dot. There was right before the empty net goal that Nikita Zaitsev scored, they put Shane Pinto out there when they were trying to defend the lead, like a 1 or 2 goal lead, and Shane Pinto's out there. He wins a face-off. This guy, like, out of nowhere. Like, Shane Pinto, again, very good. He was a Hobey Baker finalist, obviously, so we expect good play from him, but he's only played 10 minutes a game, so even then, he's made an impact with 10 minutes a game. Imagine what he could do with 15. But very excited to see what happens with Shane Pinto. Very, very excited for next season, free agency, young players, the draft. Oh my goodness, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but the Bernard-Docker and the Pinto and the Sanderson, oh my god, and more, and Norris and Kachuk, and the Suns are going to be good. But man, Shane Pinto so far so good. 2 games in. You know, we're going to talk about him a little more next episode, which I don't know if that's going to be the end of the season episode or if there's going to be 2 more, but we're going to have more of a take on Shane Pinto. But of course, right now, you can't say anything other than he's been great so far. And the last forward we're going to talk about, the captain, maybe future captain. I mean, I don't want to jinx anything, but future captain of the team, in my eyes. I was on the Chabot train until the beginning of this year, but really this year has shown me that Brady Tkachuk, he's the future captain of the team. He has 5 points in his last 4 games. He's just been a force all year. He's been consistent. He doesn't make many mistakes in the defensive zone. He's always in front of the net. That's a guy that the Sens need. He's so valuable. It's not like the fact that he is one of the only players who really can be in front of the net, be a force. He's 6'4", he's a big guy. He can fight the guys like Shea Weber. It's just all you want in a captain. And he has the intangibles to be a top power forward in the NHL eventually. This is year 3 for Brady Tkachuk, and he's just been better and better and better. And he's been leading the team, really, to wins. They've been playing a lot better in this last month. In April, they've really been exceptional. I wouldn't say exceptional, but they've been really good, especially considering where the Sens were a couple months ago. How they've been playing in April is just phenomenal compared. It's like night and day, different rosters, all these crappy veterans are out of here, all the rookies are in, and they're really taking the team by storm here. And Brady Tkachuk, he's captain material to me. He doesn't make many mistakes. He's been consistent this year. Stonks rising. But with that, that'll be episode 3 of Sens Stonks. I appreciate everyone for watching. Leave a like and consider subscribing if you enjoyed the video as well. Turn the notification bell on so you get notified when a new video is uploaded. As well, make sure to follow Sens Talk at @SensTalk_ on Twitter. And if you want to see more of me, you want to follow me on Twitter, be sure to follow me at Noah_Luden. But guys, I appreciate it. Sens, man. Overall, the Stonks are going up for the team, so it's just so, like, I'm smiling thinking about how good the team will be eventually. But solid goaltending, stable defense, forwards that are emerging out of nowhere like Connor Brown. This is what we want to see from the team. They might not be a playoff contender this year, but next year, the year after, maybe not even next year, but the year after, and the year after, unparalleled success, quoting my man Eugene, not my man, but Eugene Melnick. And I appreciate you guys watching, and obviously like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys for episode 4.